in elemental hierarchy, the hierarchy that we discussed was on the top was system families. Below that is your Revit file families that we have loaded into the file, the component families. And below that are the types of families. When it comes to properties, the properties include um, the instance properties and the type properties. All right. So every element or every view have some instance properties and some type properties. So in order to access those properties, let us see the properties of this grids that we created yesterday. So if we select any element, so when it is selected in the properties palette, whatever properties are given over here are the instance properties. That is, it is related to this very instance of the component. All right. This is a separate instance and this is a separate instance. That is why the instance properties are exclusive for these two basically different grids. So as we can see, scope box right now is none and name is 10. So this name 10 is basically exclusive for this very grid. It is not applicable for this grid. If I select this grid, its name is 20. So that is why it is exclusive to this instance and these are instance properties. Whereas type properties are basically applicable for the entire type. So if we select this grid, the type is grid 1 by 4 inch bubble. All right. So this is the type selector drop down that is called. And from the drop down, if there are multiple types that are selected, so you can select the types. All right. So these three types of grids are preloaded into the family, and that is why from the drop down you can select any one. Let us see. Right now it is 1 by 4 inch bubble gap. Bubble. Let us select 1 by 4 inch bubble gap. All right. So now you can see that it broke because of the type property. If I convert this also in 1 by 4 bubble gap, so these two are of the same type, whereas all of the rest are of a different type but similar to each other. All right. So the properties of all of these types are determined by type properties. In order to control the type properties, if I select a grid and there is this edit type window over here and I click on it, so this will take me to a window that gives all the type properties. If I make any change in the type properties, the properties of all the instances that are of the same type are going to change. All right. So let us say that instead of grid head circle, I take grid head no bubble. All right, and I apply it. So now you can see that although only one grid was selected and I changed the properties of all the ones that are of the same type got changed. So this is the difference between instance properties and type properties. Okay, so this is very important because uh, you should understand if making a change in the instance properties and making the change in type properties, what effect it is going to have on the overall model. All right, so make sure that if you want to change something basically very exclusive to one instance, so it should be controlled by an instance property and not a type property. If it is controlled by a type property, then you will have to create a new type for that and then make the changes that are required instead of making the changes in the existing type. All right. So how to create a new type, that we are going to learn later on when we'll take up walls. All right. So one more thing that I wanted to discuss about grids and levels. So this is we have understood what the 3D extent means, and let us say that I don't want this letter A to be on the right side, I want it on the left side. So I'll just tick mark this left side and I'll tick off this right side. So now the uh, texting have come on the left side. All right. So this is also possible for levels. So we didn't discuss this. So I just wanted to take this up. So this is just a simple property. And even in grids, you can provide the kinks that we discussed. So you can provide kinks and adjust accordingly. All right. Now, after element hierarchy and grids and levels, so let us come to some basic information of the Revit file that you're working on. So that is available in file options. So if we go to file on top and go down over here to options, so these are the file options. So this is just once in, you have to set it once and it will be applicable for your Revit that you're working on. All right. So we'll not discuss all of the options, but some of the basic ones that we might need while working. All right. So in general options, there are two kind of reminders to save. One is save reminder interval 30 minutes and one is synchronize with central reminder interval. All right. So as I've told you that s- there is a central file and there is a local file. All right. So the first option that is showing the save reminder interval, it is for the local file on which the individual works. Whereas synchronize with central reminder is it just gives you an update that you haven't saved in the last 30 minutes. So you should save your changes to the central file and make them permanent. All right, so these are two different kind of saves. They are not the same kind of saves. If you control S this file, that is save this file, the local file will be saved. All right, it is this command that will run if I control S the file. All right. For synchronization, there is a different command. We will take this up when we will discuss work sharing in the coming classes. So let them be on 30 minutes and make this a habit that whenever this window pops up, you do save it or synchronize it, because sometimes there are some glitches in Revit or electricity goes off or whatever and you lose your work. So make this a habit that whenever this uh, you know reminder comes up, you save it. And one thing is that you might be tempted to cancel this because you will be in the middle of a command when this will pop up. All right, you will give one command, you will enter, and then this save reminder will pop up. All right, so don't worry about it, save it, and after the file is saved, you will get back to the command that you were working on. All right, so as we discussed the username, so this is where the username is determined. So right now it is taking the username from the email ID, so that is why it is grayed out. But if you want to change it, you can go to account settings and you can change the username and it will start reflecting over here. All right. So journal file cleanup, this is something automatic. Don't change it. Work sharing, update frequency, let it be on more frequent every 5 seconds. We will discuss what this is. And view options, default view discipline coordination, let it be. All right. Nothing to change over here. Then let us come to user interface. We won't be discussing all of these things, but yes, you can set your shortcuts over here. Keyboard shortcuts, double click options, customize, and basically view switching and light theme, light or dark, whatever. All right, so you can go to the customize shortcuts and you can customize your shortcuts over here. Okay, so don't like tweak too much, because if you are on leave and somebody else have to work on your PC and you have tweaked the shortcuts too much, so it will get difficult for other people. But yes, for your assistance, you can put 3 or 4 commands for your assistance if you want. All right. Then in graphics, nothing to discuss. Let them be. Hardware is just information. Let them be. File locations. All right. Many of the times, people don't know where their backups are being saved. If they're working on a local file, they don't know where the local file is getting saved. All right, so this will show you the path where your local files and your template files and other files are getting saved. All right. You can change this if you have created a folder for local files for a particular project. You can basically browse to that project that, okay, all my local files will be saved in that folder. Okay. So rendering, let it be. Check spelling, let it be. Steering wheels, let it be. Um, all of these settings are very basic and very, already set, so you don't have to do much anything about it. So this is file options. If you ever need to tweak anything, so you can go through these, get familiar with these, and so that you know if you need to change something where it is. All right. So coming up to project information. So project information is found in manage, and in manage there is project information over here. All right. So this is the basic information of the project that if you fill once, they will basically be populated wherever these things come up. All right. This is basically for title blocks. In title blocks, we have all of these labels like project issue date, client name, project address. So you don't have to populate each and every title block whenever you create a new sheet. You just put up the project information once in the starting, and then everything gets updated in the title block automatically. So this is project specific. All right. So organization name, organization description, etc., etc., whatever you want to set, you can write over here. In project address, you will have to click on, like everything else can be set from over here. You can just type and you can just change it. Like, let us say that the project number is 124, it is populated. Now, wherever the project number is on the title block, it will get automatically updated. All right. So, but in project address, as it is a multi-line text, you will have to go to this three dots and enter your address over here and okay it. You can enter a multi-line address over here and it will get updated. Okay. So this is about project information. Next is we created these grids, but before creating these grids, there is one thing that needs to be determined, that where should be, uh, you know, there should be a base point where your project starts from. All right, a reference point. So right now we took reference from the four elevation markers that were given and we tried to center our grids on that. All right, but that is not the right way. There is a base point available in Revit file, although it is invisible by default, but it is preferred that things are taken with respect to this base point. All right, but there is not just one base point, there are 3 points that are available in Revit for reference. Okay, so we'll discuss these. In order to make these visible, we will go to this reveal hidden elements light bulb over here. And when we click this, we get this, what is this color? Magenta color window, and everything that is visible in normal view gets grayed out, and whatever is basically hidden in that view gets popped up in magenta. All right. So these points that you see over here, these are your base points and survey points. Okay. So if the circular one, there are 2 points overlaid on each other. So right now I have selected the circular one. It will not zoom in further, but right now I have selected the circular one, and over here you can see that this is the project base point. All right. And right now it is north, south, east, west elevation 0, 0, 0. Okay. So angle to true north is also 0. So right now it is at 0, 0, 0 position. Okay. So, and the second one, the triangular one, wait, the triangular one is the survey point. This is basically, right now it is at 0, 0, 0 level. So the difference between project base point and survey point is with reference to the benchmark of site mostly. All right. So although you can set it along, according to yourself, but by default, what survey point means is it is the mean sea level, or one edge of the plot, that you can say. So that is your survey point. All right. Mostly, don't move the survey point anywhere. Okay. Many of the times you just need to add the elevation according to the mean sea level elevation, and that is it. But the project base point have to be somewhere relevant. All right. Why? Because when you link Revit files or any other file, it comes with respect to this base point. I mean, it is one of the option that you have to copy as per with respect to the base point. All right. So when we have different files that we need to collaborate, like different disciplines, MEP, electrical, HVAC, whatever. So if we have this base point set at a place that is relevant to the project, so everyone can set their base point according to that only. And when we collaborate all of these files, when we merge all of these files and we merge it on the basis of the base point, they come at the right location. All right. So many of the times, like, I personally prefer it that you just select the grids and you take the first intersection of the grids and you just place it on the base point. Okay. So this becomes your reference point, and anyone, whenever they will place it, they will just, move the entire model with respect to the grid, or move the project base point with respect to the grid, and they will just place it. Right now, I didn't move the project base point because it is where I desire it to be. That is 0, 0, 0. All right. So the elevation 0, 0 means that if I go to any elevation and I reveal hidden elements, so over here you can see that as this level is -1, this is 0, 0 level, and on this line you can see that this is the project base point and survey point right now. Okay. So the third point is the internal origin point, and it is basically, even if you have revealed hidden elements, it is still invisible. It is uh, invisible. You cannot see it ever. Okay. So to determine where it is you right click the project base point and you move to internal origin. So right now it didn't move because the internal origin is coinciding with our base point and survey point, and this is what we want. All right. Because this is the second option that we get for linking the files that link according to the internal origin. All right. So if your base point and internal origin are coinciding with each other, so it won't make a difference if someone links the file according to the internal origin or base point. All right. So the errors will be lesser. So one thing less to basically take care of. So once we are done setting, we'll just click on this light bulb again to close reveal hidden elements, and they will get out of sight. So once you have set your grids and levels, you can select your grids and levels and you can just pin them so that they don't move in by mistake. And now you can set your elevation markers as well according to the building profile that you have created. All right, over here also. So right now, as you can see that your levels have extended beyond the grids. So we will just set it, and as we are on 3D right now, so they are getting set in 3D only. Okay. So next basic information that you should have is for snaps. If you have worked on any architectural software before, you must be familiar to snaps. So what snaps is, the information, all of this information is available over here in manage. You go to snaps, and over here are your all the shortcuts and all the different kind of snaps that are available. All right. So the shortcut for snaps off is SO, but I would prefer if you just keep them on. There is no need to basically switch them off. So what is length dimension snap increments we'll discuss right now. So uh, you can just look over here that in length dimension snap increments, the increments is such: 4 feet, 0 feet 6 inches, 0 feet 1 inch, 0 feet 1/4 inch. All right. So what this means is that if I create a wall or any other element and I click somewhere, and now I just move my cursor in any direction that I want to basically create the wall. So right now what is happening is as soon as it moves a little bit, it just snaps itself to 4 feet. All right. And then if I move further, it snaps itself to 8 feet. It is because the first increment was 4 feet. All right. So that is why it is snapping itself to 4, 8, 12, and further. That's it. All right. Although it is snapping to grid also. But if there is nothing else, it will snap itself to 4 feet. All right. So the next was 6 inches. If I zoom in and now try to create a, now try to move my cursor, now you can see that it is moving in 6 inches increments. If I zoom in further, it will start moving in 1 inch increment. If I zoom in even further, it will start moving in 1/4 inch increment. All right. This is as per the snaps that we have determined over here, the length increments. All right. 4 feet, 6 inch, 1 inch, and then 1/4 inches. Similarly, there are angular dimension snap increments. That is, if I want to create a wall at an angle or incline. So if I will zoom in, the angle will be as per the angular increment. If I will, zoom out, the angle increment will increase. I think it is 5 degree right now. And if I will zoom in, it will get smoother and it will be adjusted as per the angular increments that are given in the snap window. This is 90 degree, 45, 15, 5, and then 1 degree. All right. So these are the shortcuts that you can get familiar with. You should keep these on tips. Not all of them, but endpoint, midpoint, quadrant, centers, perpendiculars. So these come in handy. That is, if I have a wall and if I want to create a wall, let us say from over here to the center point of this, and let us say I'm not able to locate the center point. So within the command, if I know the shortcut for snaps of midpoint, that is SM, snap to midpoint, and I'll just press SM within the command and it will snap itself to the center point. And then I'll just click anywhere. Uh, but it will snap itself to the midpoint. All right. Similarly for for intersection, SE for endpoints. So you can get familiar with these and you can turn on and off if something is coming in the way. So this is where you will get all the information. Okay. Any doubts in this?
Oh, ma'am.
No? Okay. So let us just discuss one or two more things. One is project units. So project units is when, if you remember, when we selected the template yesterday, we selected an imperial template. All right. So that is set. But anyways, within the project, you can set how uh, things are going to reflect in the file. All right, unit wise. So angle right now it is in degrees. So if you want, you can change it to gradients, radians, and you can change the rounding off. You can change the unit symbol if you want or not, don't want. Area right now it is in square feet. If you want it in square inches, square meters, it if you need to determine the area will be determined as per this. All right. So right now unit symbol is SF. You can change it to feet square or you can just switch off. You want to increase the rounding, you can increase the rounding and suppress trailing zeros is mostly not required in areas, but in length, that is, if you have a 6 inches suppress 0 feet, you can basically rounding is right now 1 by 32 inches. You can reduce it to 1 by 4 inch. Unit is feet and fractional inches. I'm okay with it. Suppress 0 feet. What it will do is if you have um, let us say a 6 inches measurement. So if you don't have this checked, it will show right now as 0 feet 6 inches. So if you want to show it just as 6 inches, you can just check this up, and now it is going to show up just as 6 inches. All right. Another thing that we uh, set is slope. How slope is determined. Right now it is in degrees. If you want, you can set it. This is the common way how it is represented. That is ratio is to 12 or ratio is to 10. So, or rise per 12 inches or rise per 10 feet as per that. All right. So degrees, it is kind of uncommon. Um, but this, if you have a gable roof or a sloped roof, so you can give the rise that it rises like in this like 3 inches per 12 inches. So every 12 inches length, 3 inches will rise. So that's it means. All right. So you can go through the other units, you can set it accordingly. So this is the pop-up that I was talking about. You can just click it, save the project. It will take some time and it will take you back to the command that you were working on. All right. So this is basic basic things. So if I go to 3D view, in order to orbit, you have this navigation cube over here. So you can select this cube and you can go to the view that you want. Or if you want to select manually, like orbit manually, you can just press shift and scroll and then move your cursor to basically scroll. All right. So, and if you want to basically orbit with respect to any object, so you select the object and then you shift and orbit, so that object will be placed where it was and the entire window will move along with it. Like if I don't have anything selected and I shift and orbit, so things will go a bit haywire. All right. If I am zoomed out, it will go a bit haywire. All right. If I have something selected and I zoom in, so it will always be in the center and everything will zoom in, keeping that in focus. All right. So these are basic navigation tools, and that's it. Any doubts?